This is Crash Barbosa with Kenn Parra, aka C Cubed, on the Kzom network, here to bring you the hip hop theories up in this bitch. What's up, Kenn?
My bad, the hip hop horror theories.
Yeah.
And number one on deck is, what if the reason Rick Ross is becoming a better rapper is because Puffy fed him part of Biggie Smalls' brains?
What if is the question.
Now, if this is, a possibility, we first have to ask the question, how did Puffy gain possession of Biggie Smalls' brains?
Isn't that pretty self-explanatory? I mean, this ain't Puff's first barbecue, alright? Like, this fool's been shitting on people his whole life. He's got mob ties. He's got that all-white party, real exclusive in the Southamptons. Mm-hmm. Who knows who goes to that? Masons, Illuminati, whatever the fuck, probably. This dude's probably a reptile, if that theory's right. This dude's doing shady-ass shit. He put Shine up in, prison for a minute and, made him go to Belize. This fool's, up with Obama. He's got political ties. He's got crime ties. I mean, he could have done anything. Biggie could have got shot on Sunset, and, he's probably paying off the chief of police to get that body. I mean, who knows?
Right, and maybe even a simpler explanation, it was just inside the bad boy contract. I mean, nowadays, rappers are giving away their publishing rights, they're doing 360 deals where they're giving away money for their touring. I mean, quite possibly inside that contract, a management contract, he went ahead and signed over his brain.
More than likely, especially with Diddy and, his business skills and everything like that. I mean, it's more than likely that he did that. He's a shark. He's a shark.
Biggie, what you gonna do with your brain when you're dead? I mean, come on, give it
Big
to your boy Puffy.
I'm
gonna stick it on the top of my mantle. It's gonna look all pretty there, right next to all your awards. I mean, just give it to me. And Biggie probably signed that shit right over for a blunt.
Absolutely,
yeah,
he absolutely did. Definitely right there. I mean, he was letting him get on his tracks as a producer. I mean, executive producer up in there, hollering out some stupid ass shit on almost every song. So I mean, he probably let Diddy do whatever he want. I mean, who knows what they did together, and I'm gonna leave that there.
Yeah, well, so it's definitely possible that he had possession of brains, but I got another question. I mean, just because he got the brains, does eating brains really make you smarter?
We're talking about Rick Ross. You got to remember that he thought about going to war with 50 Cent. He thought that was a good idea.
That's right.
He's not paying his baby mama child support. He doesn't have money. He got caught wearing fake Louis Vuitton millionaires on the cover of the Source or Double XL. Yeah, I mean, this fool's a joke. He's probably up on the placebo effect. I mean, anything Diddy tells him. Look how
What's the placebo effect?
Placebo effect's when you just imagine something. Say you were to take a Xanax bar that wasn't a real Xanax bar, but you love Xanax. It looked real, so you would think you were getting high when you really weren't in reality.
Oh,
same type of thing.
Like the little studies they do.
Exactly. Like Diddy's, that dude's rich. He's been around the block. Ricky wanted him to be his manager, but as far as reports go, I mean, Diddy's denying that he's his manager. They just hang out. Ricky is dumb enough, probably. Diddy's worth all this money. He's probably saying, "Oh, eat these brains. I promise it'll make you as good as Big." Absolutely, he's definitely doing that. He's gonna be doing that in a heartbeat. He's not even gonna be tripping on it, and he's gonna definitely think he's getting better. And that right there is powerful enough for a fat ass motherfucker like Rick Ross, who was what the fuck was he, a prison guard? Now he's trying to say he's a coke dealer. I mean, come on, this dude's doing whatever the fuck is cool. Yeah,
you know what? I mean, he actually is getting better though, man. The Meech is got skills now, and
no doubt.
I gotta say though, man, it may be more deeper than a placebo effect. I mean, Diddy's got ties to voodoo. I know he does. I mean, he goes down there with them New Orleans cats. He's cool with all them dudes. He knows what's up. He's cool with everybody. I mean, he's got the money for anything too. I'm sure he found a way to reactivate that DNA. I'm not really into voodoo, but that would be my theory. He reactivated the DNA of Biggie Smalls, and when Rick Ross takes that, he actually starts to come and become a little bit more like Biggie. I hear it in his ad libs, man. His ad libs is becoming a lot more like Biggie, and his lyrics are a lot sicker. I mean, I think that there's a hybrid going on, half Rick Ross, half Biggie kind of effect going on there, man. I really do. I
mean, that's a definite possibility. I mean, look at this. I mean, for all we know, I mean, look at Diddy. Look at what that fool does for fun and shit. I mean, this dude's he's probably got Ricky to sell his soul to the devil too. I mean, that could be another reason he's getting better. Yeah. He could have Tech 9 that shit or some shit. We don't know.
That's another. Well, that brings me to the question here, man. Is all right. So Ross's album is did all right, but it didn't even debut as number one. I mean,
Eminem had him by 100,000 copies in what, week 7, 8?
Well, it wasn't 100,000, but I think it was
no,
like
he had him by
10,000.
100,000. It was 158,000 versus just 55,000.
No, bro.
That was maybe week 2.
No, yeah, that was week 2 probably. What happened is in week 1, yeah, he dropped like half his numbers inside week 2. But in week 1, he lost by about 10,000, but he still didn't come in, number 1.
Absolutely not.
Look at, man, he's falling off. That's pretty much what I'm saying. And he's good enough where people will bump his music. He just needs to be dead. So is Puffy planning on killing him?
Absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind. Puffy's definitely planning on killing Ricky. Look at this. I mean, even if Teflon Don was to be a number 1 album, this is the only album we've seen from Rick Ross that is completely consistent from beginning to end. Usually there's at least half the songs suck on those albums, and then some of them are fire. This one, it's all hot. It still didn't get number 1. It moved enough copies. Diddy did this as a test run, and Diddy's definitely now saying, will his next album sell? Yes, absolutely. Everybody loves Teflon Don right now. So what Diddy's gonna do is do the same thing he did to Biggie, which is kill him right before that shit comes out. He doesn't have to share royalties with anybody. He'll probably have him locked in a bad boy contract, probably whole Triple C's clique anyway. And that's how it's gonna go down. He's gonna have him killed. I mean, he'd be as bold as to do it in the same spot. Tell him to go to Shamrock Tattoos and get some ink done.
Oh yeah. And then I mean, he could even change that, album name for the next album to visiting Biggie,
Yeah, absolutely.
And that would tie it all in together right there.
Yeah, and then these new sellout kids up in hip hop. I mean, who would I see doing this? I mean, I could definitely see Kanye and Kid Cudi doing some scandalous shit where they trying to be executive producers and remix a whole Rick Ross Back from the Dead album, similar to what Eminem did on Tupac Resurrection.
I could see even 50, crying and saying, you know what, man, you're doing a little fake publicity stunt. I always liked Ross. Me and him, we was talking shit to each other, but that's just what we do.
Yeah.
But I respect the motherfucker and getting on a track with them and Ross. They might give the credits like they did to Pac to the white boy. Let him produce the album.
But speaking of the white boy, there's Biggie could still be around Diddy's camp with Rick Ross. I mean, look at the DJ Khaled factor. We got DJ Khaled. He's a fat motherfucker. That's one
ugly white boy.
Yeah. He's fat as Big ever was, and this dude's got white skin. I mean, what does he say? He's Egyptian or something. I don't even know, but he's definitely white. But he acts blacker than anybody. He's saying he gave 50 Cent a pass, which is like a joke up at the BET Awards and shit. I mean,
he's chopping out some brains too.
This quite possibly could be Biggie as a zombie or some shit. Like, he lost the coloring because he was underground for so long.
Yeah,
and now Khaled's walking around just, fat as fuck, acting like Big, but white. And it doesn't even make sense. And that dude's in Ricky's camp.
You're on to something right here, man.
It's corrupted.
This is out of control.
It's really out of control. All right, but, we've been on for a minute right here, and we're going to do a mixtape review. Some news on hip-hop.
Just wrap it up a little bit.
Yeah, we'll have to wrap it up right here. Brake lights. Ooh. Game drop brake lights this week. What do you give it out of 10?
On a mixtape level, I'm going to give it an 8.
I'm going to give it a 9, maybe 9.5, because as a mixtape, this thing was packed with all-star features, 5-star shit. And, I mean, look at this shit. I mean,
it was great
hot.
Features.
Cherry Kool-Aid. I mean, it was that heat. He got Snoop on it. He had Busta Rhymes on it. He had Nas on it. Robin Thicke was all over the place. It was fire. I think Dr. Dre was on it. The reason you give it, a 9, that's the reason why I give it an 8, because I feel like I was a little bit more interested in hearing the features than I was hearing the game, and that's why I got to lower at 1 point to an 8. But by far, the best mixtape of 2010, in my opinion. Absolutely. Definitely the best mixtape of 2010. I mean, the only thing I'm concerned about here is, will he be able to outdo that mixtape when he puts the Red album
really
out?
Scary.
I'm hoping so.
We're both in LA. That's where we're located, and I'm rooting for the game. I want the game to do some big numbers on the Red album. But Jesus, it's not looking good with that mixtape buzz. How are you gonna outdo that?
It's hard
from
to.
the singles he's dropped so far. I'm not really feeling it like that one track where
I heard he scrapped them
got
all.
Pharrell on. Oh, did he?
I heard
scrap that Pharrell
I heard
single?
he restarted the album.
Thank
Nobody's
God.
heard anything, but I'm not sure. But as far as I know, the singles are not. There's no single out officially
that's
for the
great.
Red album at this point.
Yeah, because I wasn't feeling that Gucci imitation on the Pharrell track. Sorry, game. I mean, it was a good song, but it wasn't a good single.
No, absolutely, it was not a good single. All
You're
right.
better than that. You dumb down the lyricism too much. All right, we've been talking too long.
We're at over 10 minutes right now.
Yeah,
So
that's
this is
episode
Crash
1.
Barbosa. I'm up here with Kenn Parra, C Cubed up in this bitch. Check out his group, The Lost Theory.
Lost Theory Crew.
Yeah, and then you got me, Crash Barbosa Hip Hop at MySpace. You got to do myspace.com/Crash Barbosa Hip Hop. Same token, we got a collab mixtape dropping soon,
that's
probably
gonna be
this
crazy.
fall. It's gonna be fire. I got my shit coming out. I mean, you better keep your eyes open. I mean, right now I want Game to carry the West Coast so I can come through that LA shit wearing a crown. You know what I mean? He's talking about retiring. I think it's the perfect time for him.
All right, man. Well, we enjoyed it. We hope you enjoyed it too. Stay posted for episode 2.
Yeah.